And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. We're coming to you live from downtown Blue Ridge. Shops at Sycamore Crossing, Tupelo Tea, New Blue Home and Gift, and Broken Bull. Oh, look, I got a whole group here. Well, we know this lovely young lady. Jane, where's your tie? Where's your tie?
I left it on the chair.
I think there was a guy earlier that wore your tie.
Yeah.
Did he get it?
I sent him with that tie. I forgot
Then
my
we
star.
have Rick. Rick, introduce your friend.
This is a close friend of ours, Tommy and Marsha Powell from Atlanta. Tommy's joining us on the Kirby couch this morning.
Is that where we're at? Okay.
And you know my friend Bruce. Bruce Constantine.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're gonna start right out with you, right here. Are we got all the mics? Cause Lonnie's not here. I gotta keep an eye on you, Cole. Is everything up? Gotta double check. Lonnie laid out.
Lonnie this morning.
That's it. Time.
Where's
We were
Lonnie?
talking.
Where's
Huh?
Lonnie, by the
I
way?
have no idea. They don't tell me anything. You think they keep me up on what's going on? We're gonna talk politics just a minute. You know, I want to ask you because I seen something yesterday, and statistically, we talk about the Supreme Court all the time. We talk about the Supreme Court. Trump is going to speak today, and a part of what he's going to talk about is the Supreme Court and conservative judges. But I don't think we spend enough time talking about federal judge appointments, period.
Exactly.
What say you?
Yeah. Again, the recent statistic was that 70% of the circuit courts now are a majority of liberal judges, and that's changed in 8 years. Of the 13 circuit courts in 2008, only one was controlled by a liberal majority. 9 of them are now.
Right.
So there's been this invisible war, if you will, or Obama doing these appointments sort of like under the table, or off the screen, if you will. And the problem is going to be there. The Supreme issue is like captured all the headlines, but if everything's being knocked out at the circuit level, things aren't even going to get to the Supreme Court.
Well, I seen that yesterday, and I thought, in fact, I appreciate it sending it on to me, and I was reading that yesterday, and I was thinking, this is just something that doesn't get the headlines like it should. And the other thing about that is if the federal judges are up to the percent, would you say 70?
70%.
Liberal judges, they have to be confirmed.
Exactly.
Federal judges get confirmed. We think about the Supreme Court justices that are actually, we get the TV coverage because they get up there and they get their moment and they get to filibuster and all this stuff, questions, and say, I can't answer that. But they confirm all of those federal judges, do they not?
Absolutely. And didn't your boy Harry the other day say that no budget deal unless...
Excuse me?
Yes.
Really? Did you hear that?
I heard that.
Don't let him treat me that way.
I know
No.
he's grounded.
No, what did Harry say?
Didn't
You're
Harry,
right about
didn't
that.
Harry say that they're not even going to consider the budget until they get a hearing on the Supreme Court justice?
They're trying to play some tricks. But I thought that was a great point. Let's go with the new guy. Let's give the new guy a chance. Jen.
So the answer to the question is,
I
how did
didn't-
they get confirmed?
Let's see how they get confirmed. Stay with us. The Republicans are in control of the House. Republicans are in control
Like I
of the
said.
Senate. Just saying.
Just asking.
Just say, right? Thank you. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Approval
I mean,
rating, rating of Congress, 14%.
No, that brought it all the way around. I'm so glad to have you guys with. That brought it all the way around. We start and we tell people, look, 70% of your federal judges now are liberal. We talk about the Supreme Court. You're saying Harry Reid wants the appointment, and they do have to be confirmed, and you brought it right around. How are they getting confirmed? Republicans are in charge, right?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you something. I would like for you to explain Aleppo to me. You're the new guy, so we want to know from you.
Hey, I got to
Can you
admit,
tell-
I didn't know what Aleppo meant yesterday either. He had to tell me. I
Really?
thought
How
it was up on
dare
the
you?
news. I know.
Acronym. It's an
Isn't that
acronym.
horrible?
Yeah, it's an acronym.
Yeah.
Let's see. All leaders.
Well, you know what I
losers,
said in my opening monologue? If they'd asked me, hey, what do you think of Aleppo? I said, yeah, I had a slice of pizza there yesterday, a 52nd and 3rd.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's not a disrespect, but
The way they asked the question was really weird.
and then they're making it a big deal that Barnacle, really.
Who
Really?
knows?
So it came from Barnacle, and that's a big deal. What would you do about Aleppo? I don't know. I would get a crane.
Yeah, I got a little-
What were you thinking?
I got an Aleppo rag.
Seriously, and I know. If I could tell immediately, you all pay attention, every one of you. So, did you know? I want to be serious. Did you know if he'd asked you that question yesterday, Mike Barnacle, what would you do about Aleppo? What would you have said?
I cannot tell a lie. I didn't know, and I watch news all the
Me too.
time.
Okay, what would you say?
Well, I knew it was in Syria, but I didn't know it was the third largest country in the region.
Yeah.
Okay, what would you say?
I had no idea.
No idea.
And I
No,
listen
it's-
to news
I knew it
all the
wasn't
time.
Syria. I didn't know it was the epicenter of ISIS activity. That kind of a statistic I didn't know.
I think it needs to be a safe zone for refugees from now on.
Yeah, I would know.
Okay, we didn't know, but why did the media run with it, and what do you think they're trying to accomplish with what happened with Gary Johnson and Aleppo? It's obviously, it led MSNBC at 6 a.m. this morning, and
Well,
what do you think?
I think that the media is worried Hillary is not doing well, even though they say she is, and he will take votes away from her. I think more than he will take votes against from Trump. So they just need to get rid of everything they can to put it onto Hillary's side, because I think she needs all the votes she can get.
Okay, that's an angle I had not worked with, but you brought that up. You think because new polling says that in the CNN polling that came out that they don't like, where Trump is up 2% nationally, that polling also says that Gary Johnson is pulling votes not from Trump but Hillary Clinton, correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I didn't
you-
hear that, but
Yes.
I'm brilliant, so I figured.
Why do you think they did such a take on Aleppo? Why was that front page news?
Take the focus from Hillary just a second. What?
Oh, no,
What-
don't go.
What was I supposed to say,
Clip
Uma?
that. Clip that.
Uma, talk
Clip
to me.
that.
Diversion.
He said, "Uma, talk to me."
Uma, talk to me. How do I answer this?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Let's give somebody else a chance. Well, I mean, you used your time, sir. I can't help you. I can't help how you use your time.
Next.
Why do you think that Aleppo was lead in the?
Because they're trying to take the focus away from Hillary. She did such a pitiful job in that commander-in-chief debacle that, and what's the deal on the liberal media that was just blistering poor old Matt?
Well, what's bizarre about that is
Go ahead.
everybody thought or assumed that he was taking votes from Trump, and apparently he's not. Apparently he's taking them from her.
That is one thing. There's a couple things in play here, and I guess I want to see the angle the morning shows go Sunday, because I don't believe anything happens by accident. I think they set things up at the end of the week to roll into their talking points for Sunday for Chuck Todd and Martha Raddatz, because we're waiting for her to tell us, and obviously George, I call him Snuffleupagus. George Stephanopoulos. We wait. So I think the liberal media builds these talking points into the weekend. So I'm interested in seeing what happens Sunday to wrap that up. What do you think, Bruce? They were
Diversion. I mean, they were just moving the spotlight off of Hillary because she did so bad, and I think they were picking the topic, and Aleppo just popped up beautifully for them.
All right, you said she did so bad. I heard she did so bad twice. Let me go with this gentleman over here. Did so bad. They're talking about the forum. What do you think about the forum the other night?
We didn't watch all of it, so I really can't comment. But the one clip I saw was she was talking about Libya and that she didn't lose any American lives.
I cringe.
that, dude?
That operation, no American lives were lost in that operation. I'm thinking,
What?
you do know you just said that. You do
She did
know.
No, she doesn't know.
You
She
do
said
know
It's
that
like-
we have the emails from Commander Stevens saying,
Ambassador.
Ambassador Stevens saying, hey, send me some help.
Hello?
Is somebody answering the phone? We do know that they were in a room saying, if we go in, should we not wear fatigues in fear of offending. Remember that?
How many times did they change?
Well, you remember that?
Yeah, sure.
They change
They-
back and forth.
They change back and forth
Is that
2 or 3
idiotic?
times.
Is that
So
couldn't
we
even be
know
in a
that.
movie.
Okay. When you say she didn't, did you watch the other night?
I watched a little of it.
What were you people doing? I mean, we
Well,
need to
were
get
eating
back
dinner.
to
We were
that.
eating dinner, quite
Huh?
frankly.
I watched every second twice.
Well, the thing I watched yesterday, which
I'll continue to do that for you out there. And no.
I advise that y'all watch this. It's on YouTube, and it's I think it was just released on either September 7th or at the end of August. But it's Trey Gowdy interviewing, the full interview with Trey and the whole committee interviewing Hillary, and it is astounding. It is astounding how he would ask her a point blank question, and she would circumvent it, and he'd interrupt her and said, "That's not my question. My question is yes or no." She would then, once when she couldn't and she got in a corner, then she would begin that condescending thing where she smiles and shakes her head, and
They did the same thing. She did the same thing in the commander-in-chief thing. That's why Lauer's getting blistered, because he had to cut her off constantly because she was just going out there and just talking
Filibustering the question.
filibustering the
going
question.
on and on and on.
and on and on. How
And
about
now, and now that's sexist, and
you know, ask Sarah
know.
Sarah Palin how they like heavy interviews. I mean, they set all that up. I wasn't a Sarah Palin fan, but they just crucified her, and it was all planned. But now it's the other way. But that's the way it's always been, and it just mystifies me the more it goes on, and they get away with it.
Well, to me, the other night, Lieutenant, I think his first name is John. I don't want to be disrespectful. I forget the gentleman's last
Colonel
name.
John Lester?
Okay. He stands up, and he actually framed the perfect question. And he said, now that you have decimated our national security protocols, and he uses the word protocol, and he explains his level, like, look, as you talk to me, you need to understand, I know what you and I are talking about. Okay, this is what I've taken away. This guy's looking at Hillary Clinton, he's saying, you know what, we could have 15 million people watching, we could have an audience watching, but guess what? I know what you were looking at, because I have all of those security clearances. I understand everything you're about to say to me. And she still just disrespected the guy in the utmost. And when she said, you and I both know, I wish you'd have had a chance to come back, because I'm thinking to myself, he was thinking over there, no, we both know this. He didn't get a follow-up. I'd like to hear his
that
follow-up.
be
I
today.
wish you would have just jumped in. I mean, like, Lauer was trying to do, and just like, plopped on
Did
her
you
and
hear
said,
that
"Hey."
question?
I wish. Did you see the follow-up when he appeared on
No.
Kabuto show?
Oh, he was on the.
He said it's analogous to me working for a publicly traded company. We know we're coming out with great earnings in about 30 days. And I send an email and tell a buddy of mine, hey, check this out. We got some great earnings. It's context. It's the context that she should be aware of what's classified.
Context will give you the subject.
Absolutely.
So what did you think about? Did you see where he asked that question?
Yeah, sure.
And what did you think about her answer?
It's a typical Hillary answer. She just evaded
No
the whole
answer.
deal.
No answer.
She went round and round
Yeah,
the
round
block
and
with him,
round.
and she brought him into the same corner. You and John, you and I both
You and I both know. That got me because
Golly.
I understand.
Yeah. Hey, I call bullshit.
What'd you call it? Easy. Yesterday
Last week
I noticed my good
was
friend George has got his motorcycle out and he's up here for a ride and he's over here. He's taking this in and he's going to write 3 short takes this weekend. And I'm thinking, what would George say? No, I don't have to wait. Bruce says something. There you go.
Yeah.
So, but okay, it's Commander-in-Chief Forum. I call it the Panic in Brooklyn. That's where the headquarters is. They're in panic. Let's go to something George said yesterday on the show. George asked for Comey's resignation. He looked at the camera, and George yesterday on the show said he asked for the FBI director's resignation. What do you think?
I agree.
Do you agree?
I think he mishandled it badly.
What do you think?
How does Comey ever come out of this?
Has he come out of it?
Ever?
So do you agree
Yeah.
he should resign? What do you think?
I agree that he should resign, but how
He'll
does
never recover.
how does he even face some of the retirees and claim that they're still independent and they're not partisan. It just like Tommy said.
Document dump on Friday
Yeah.
before Labor Day.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing is, I don't like. Go ahead. What do you think? Do you think Comey should resign?
Sure, I do, but whom are they going to put in there? Another one of their. I think the pressure is so strong on these people. I don't think Comey's a bad guy. I mean, I think he had a pretty good reputation. I'm not sure, but I didn't expect what I saw out of him. So yes.
Well,
Same behaviors with Roberts on the
They're gonna
Obamacare
appoint someone
thing.
else at
You
the
know,
same
I think Comey caught us all off guard. Roberts, you're saying caught us all off guard, right?
Yeah.
We just didn't expect that out of John Roberts,
we
did we?
didn't.
well,
You
yeah,
expect it out of the Attorney General.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
that's
they're
my
appointed,
problem.
they're
Yeah,
partisan.
that's political.
It's like all three of them are standing around the body going, I'm not going to touch that body. I'm not going to touch that body.
And that's when I kind of went, wow, this is bigger than I thought
Yeah.
when that happened.
Well,
Wow.
I think every time Hillary Clinton, and if I went into a list, it would be a long list and would run out of time. But I think every time Hillary Clinton or that campaign says, we need to know what was said, we need to know what Donald Trump said, we need to hear what happened in that meeting. The American people need to know what that conversation was between William Jefferson Clinton and Loretta Lynch on that plane.
Oh, my
Plane.
goodness.
Do you agree?
I agree.
I mean, even after the other night, I mean, if you keep going, once that federal FBI and to the untrained eye realizes, now, I focused in on the bleach bit because I'm in the internet business, okay? And I'm in the internet business and I'm used to servers, and we have a server at FetcherNews.com. We have a server where we host a program. We deal with outside cloud servers. We're doing that. I mean, we're pretty in depth. We deal with a company that does an outside rolling cloud server. If we were to hit a million page views, we have had a big story hit, and all of a sudden we get 1 million clicks on the website. Our cloud server will roll us over to where it will handle it. All that being said, I've studied that, and I understand the taking the hammer to all the devices, but when I got up to the bleach bit and realized that was something I didn't even know. Not that I know it, but I didn't even know what this was. So wait a minute, there's a program to watch this? So I just Googled bleach bit.
Bleach bed, yeah.
Have you read that?
You read it on the air the other
Yeah,
day.
I read it, and then you Google that, and it is for nothing more than to shred, delete, clean, wipe everything. It has everything there, and they use this on the server.
It's a virtual shredder.
Right?
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
acid wash. It's
Yeah.
an acid wash.
And I was glad that Trump used my material the other day when he went out. Yeah, right? You know it's true. Anyhow, but then after that, I read all 55 pages. Okay? And
Of the FBI report.
Yes.
Yeah.
I read all 55 pages, and I'm thinking to myself, I call Hillary Clinton she's the do you realize who the hell I am candidate. That's her attitude. Do you not realize who I mean, I don't care who you are. They call it the mahogany hallway in the Secretary of State, okay? And it's the zone where when you cross this area, no devices go in, none whatsoever. You leave every device, and it's the mahogany wing. And you go in there, and that's where Clinton's office is, Secretary of State's office is. Once you go through those doors, you take nothing in. This does not go in. You take all your communication devices are in that zone. You have a computer on your desk, which she would not have. She did not have a computer on her desk in the State Department. You have a computer on your desk. You have a secure phone line, a direct phone line to the president and top Pentagon. You have unsecure line. You have these phones, communication, but you take nothing in. She took it right in. She went right in with her
Top drawer.
BlackBerry. Put it right in there. Could care less.
And it brings up a question. I mean, what was the government, with their all their rules and everything, doing about this? Nothing, and that's scary. That the people that are supposed to be on top of issues like this in terms of security, they weren't doing a thing.
When the judge said preserve the evidence, they actually can tell that the back of the server had been turned on and off after that several times.
You saw this morning the report that what's his name? Chavis?
Yes.
Chavis.
Jason Chaffetz.
John
Jason, yeah,
Chavis.
is not going to be able to get the hearing because the FBI came out and said he gave the guy immunity, gave that guy that worked for Hillary immunity about the destroyed documents. That's been immunized, if you will.
I want to see all those blank spots. Go and read it. There's a blank, blank gave this, blank did that. We've got to get ready to go to our next segment, so I want to close with this. How important, I want everybody to answer this, so we'll start here with Jane. How important, what's the big deal on the emails? Like Bernie Sanders says, I don't want to hear about your damn emails anymore. What is the big deal with this? What's the big deal with this?
Well, there's several things. The big deal about the emails that comes to mind first is her observations and emails about Benghazi. That's huge. I mean, she knew it wasn't that. And then Trace Gowdy asked her that specifically. He said, that night you did this, and then in 2 more weeks you were still saying video. We learned that she was manipulating and lying, and in many other places she was manipulating and lying. And then I've just heard yesterday that there were emails about her health that were very important, and that it was between doctors, and that she may have a serious disease. I won't name that, but it was on the television, and they wanted to hide that, and she's had a problem since maybe 2011. There are a lot of things on that email that show that she was, for instance, Trace Gowdy said, when we wanted to have someone who wrote an email come and testify in front of us, they sent an email, Hillary's camp, saying, let's don't have her on. She won't be a good witness. She knows so much. They have that email. And he's saying that's like the attorney that's supporting you is calling her and saying, no, don't let her come on. She'll say too much. So it's all
Well, we
just a
find out.
convolution.
We find out in the great. We all know the "what difference does it make anymore" clip, right? We've all seen that. What we have 4 dead Americans. What difference does it make anymore? We now know that Senator Menendez from New Jersey, Democrat, set the flow of that discussion up for her.
Yeah.
What's
that's
the big?
another
What's
thing.
the big deal? What's the big deal with FBI? Try to wrap it. I should have told her this. Try to wrap it up in about 30, 40 seconds. Okay.
If you take,
I love you, dear. That's
if
why
you
you sit
take
next
that
to me.
that isolated incident, you probably can say what's the big deal, but you've got to look at the body of her work over 30 years. It never changes, and I come up to the point where at the top of the pyramid where there's virtually, for me, no integrity for that person to be commander-in-chief and be the leader of the most powerful free country in the world.
What's the takeaway from you on the? What's the big deal with the emails? Why is it such a big issue?
You know, it's so big that I can't get my hands around it. It never ends. We go from this to this to this to this. It's the same pattern, the same trail. It's so big that, like I said, I can't get my hands around it. But it's a lot there.
And you, Bruce?
It is a trail of cover-ups, deceit, lies, and let's not forget the Clinton Foundation stuff.
Yeah.
There's
Not even brought up the other night. We haven't even scratched the surface, have we?
No,
Let's
that's
say-
like a whole other day or 3.
I think the biggest deal is.
Oh,
that
you
she's
want the
not
last word?
invited,
Because you
yeah.
could have it if you want
The
it.
biggest deal is she's not she's not indicted. That's the biggest deal.
We
All
don't
of all of
understand
these
that.
things, no, anyone else would have been indicted.
Hundreds.
Over and over.
And that's
the
what
biggest
that
thing.
guy said the other night. That's the end all. The guy that looked at her, did you say Colonel? Is he a Colonel?
I think it's Colonel John Lester.
Okay. Looked at her and basically right in the eye and said, I do this,
I go to.
I'm going to jail.
I'm going to the slammer.
There you go.
Okay, how do we let you go? So
Yes.
we got to go. It is 9:15. We're coming to you live from the shops at Sycamore Crossing here in Blue Ridge, and we're Tupelo Tea, the new Blue Home and Gift, and Broken Bull. Okay, where Zach Brown's mom shops. Okay, we have to go. We thank you. Look at here. We have plenty of room. I mean, we can make an adjustment. We can bring the camera back. We can do a Okay, let's do this now. I like to do things. I like put people on spot on live TV. So let's do it now. See, we don't have to actually do this in the morning. We could set this up like this, and we do it like at 6 o'clock one evening. You
We
good
do
for
a
that?
tag team.
6 o'clock. We get
Be
2
good.
dozen people in here. You good? Okay, we're good with that. We
Good.
got twice and twice. Okay.
1, 2, 3,
I'm your
4,
host
5,
BKP.
6,
We're gonna take a
7,
break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk improv. You never know where I'm going here. We're gonna talk improv We have a guest here from the Blue Ridge Community Theater. And then don't forget, every week, the star of the show, we wrap it up with our Pet of the Week. That's it from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. I'm your host, BKP. We'll be back after these messages.